If you were on the scene and you were powerful, like, to be honest, like, if you're not in those files, it would be an insult because it just means that you were a bit of a loser.
She wrote, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god.
I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time. I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. I had nightmares about it afterward.
Now, Oprah is limited in the context of the files, but there is clear collusion between Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein.
The Department of Justice recently released thousands of documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And among the many names discussed online, Oprah Winfrey's name has sparked renewed debate. Her name appears in portions of the records, mainly in contact lists and correspondence references, which has fueled speculation about how well she may have known Epstein. From resurfaced photos to disputed claims about emails, the internet has been flooded with theories. In this video, we're taking a closer look at the Epstein files and separating documented facts from online speculation surrounding Oprah Winfrey. Oprah's name has been mentioned in discussions surrounding the Epstein files, including references found in contact lists and archived materials. Now, being listed in a contact book or mentioned in documents does not imply wrongdoing. Many public figures appeared in Epstein's records simply because he maintained extensive networks across media, business, and politics. Still, critics online have questioned why certain high-profile names repeatedly surface around Epstein's social circles. Some observers argue that Epstein actively sought legitimacy by associating with respected public figures, especially those with powerful platforms. To understand the timeline surrounding Oprah, we need to revisit an earlier chapter of her public life.
Trial of a former dormitory matron charged with abusing 6 students at Oprah Winfrey School for Girls in South Africa is resuming. Prosecutors say former dorm matron Tina Virginia Makopo tried to kiss and fondle the girls. She's also accused of kicking and hitting some of them. Makopo pleaded innocent to 14 charges of indecent assault and criminal injury in South Africa. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, the ex-headmistress of the $40 million school is suing Winfrey for defamation. The suit claims someone would conclude from Winfrey's comments that the school employee knew of the alleged abuse and was actively involved in covering it up.
I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core.
Winfrey said she was disappointed in the former headmistress. The TV talk show host also made comments about students who felt there was an atmosphere of repression at the school.
And I spoke to all the girls personally, and I encouraged all of them, any of them who had actually been harmed.
In 2007, Oprah launched the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. The school was widely praised at its opening, seen as a major philanthropic initiative. However, not long after, the academy faced a serious scandal involving misconduct by a staff member. Multiple students came forward with complaints, and investigations followed. Oprah publicly addressed the situation, calling it devastating and unacceptable. While the incident deeply impacted the school's reputation, no evidence ever suggested Oprah had prior knowledge of the abuse. Yet for some critics, the controversy became part of a broader narrative questioning powerful figures and institutional oversight. One of the most disturbing elements of the Epstein case involves his long-discussed obsession with legacy and genetics. Testimony and reporting revealed Epstein spoke openly about unusual ambitions tied to reproduction and eugenics. According to documented reports, Epstein described plans involving his New Mexico ranch, where he allegedly envisioned a project centered around impregnating women to produce offspring carrying his DNA. These accounts painted a picture of a man fascinated by genetic engineering and so-called designer humans. What shocked many observers was that Epstein discussed these ideas not in secrecy, but in meetings with scientists, academics, and wealthy associates.
You can get paid a lot more than that.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500 for you know. I'm prepared to outbid him anyway. Whatever I bid, he's going to outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you had a portion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, you know, and placenta, you know, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. Yeah. We regard it as waste, and it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it shouldn't go to waste. It's life for somebody, you know.
Him.
And it's life for
George Bush.
No, the best eggs are 16 to 18 years old. Those are the best eggs. The only reason
16 to 18-year-olds.
Your eggs get weaker and weaker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So you may not be our top candidate.
No, that's fine. I think that was my business anyway.
After Epstein's early legal troubles, he appeared to pursue a strategy many powerful individuals use when facing reputational damage: philanthropy. He donated to universities, funded research initiatives, and positioned himself within elite intellectual circles. Despite his criminal record, several institutions continued accepting his contributions, a decision that later drew criticism. For Epstein, charity wasn't just generosity, it looked like rehabilitation. But reputation laundering alone wasn't enough.
She wrote, "Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up." And yeah, she's not the first person in Hollywood to say that. I just don't know how much could be in our face anymore before we wake up and realize these people are ruling over us and they win when we're fighting with each other. That's just the reality. I really don't see how you can have a ton of success in Hollywood and not be in the club, because Hollywood was founded upon this. I just don't really care what you call me. It's time for everyone to wake up.
Epstein seemed to crave association with figures the public trusted: celebrities, media icons, respected billionaires. Being seen alongside influential names helped soften his image. This dynamic has fueled ongoing debates about how proximity, networking, and public perception operate at the highest levels of power. And Oprah's name often enters this conversation not because of evidence of misconduct, but because of her visibility and influence.
Epstein files, it literally shows emails that Jeffrey Epstein was creating designer babies. I really want to know why we haven't heard the DOJ talk about this, especially since some of the survivors said that this happened to them in Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico property, Zorro Ranch. How I found out that he was working with another person to create these designer babies is because I saw him ordering a lot of 23andMe kits, and he was sending them to a lot of different people as gifts. In this email, he was sending some to Woody Allen and his adopted daughter at one point in time, who is now his wife. And I started to see a lot of emails in the Epstein files of people saying that they were pregnant to Jeffrey Epstein, or even alluding that he had actual children. Like this email in 2011 to Jeffrey Epstein, and it appears to be from Sarah Ferguson. And it said, "You have disappeared. I didn't even know you were having a baby. It's so crystal clear to me that you were only friends with me to get to Andrew, and that really hurt me deeply, more than you will know. Congratulations on your baby boy." And this email in 2006 from Glenn Dubin to Jeffrey Epstein. "I get pictures of you flying over Mount Fiji, and I have to find out from Benghazi that you have twin babies. Eva and I are so excited for you. Please send pictures ASAP." And Glenn Dubin says, "Test tube babies, just thinking." Started looking up the term babies in the Epstein files, and this is when I came across this. It was titled "Designer Babies" in August of 2018, and he has it on like an agenda. Then I found this email, and it's from Brian Bishop to Jeffrey Epstein, and it's "Designer Babies / Brian Bishop." So I looked up who Brian Bishop was, because I was like, why are they saying designer babies? And it says, Brian Bishop is a software engineer and a biohacker who gained attention for his attempts to fund and advance a do-it-yourself, or DIY, designer baby project using Bitcoin. His project aimed to utilize the CRISPR gene editing technology to engineer human embryos for enhanced traits, such as increased muscle mass or improved memory. And this is the next email I found about designer babies, and it's from Brian Bishop to Jeffrey Epstein, and it says, "Here is a deck about my designer baby project. I have talked with Austin again, and we have a series of questions about how serious you are about wanting this, and what are the ground rules for me even exploring this with you."
Oprah has publicly associated with numerous powerful figures throughout her decades-long career. Like many media leaders, she interviewed, collaborated with, and interacted with individuals across industries, some later involved in serious controversies. Online critics sometimes frame this as a pattern, while others argue it simply reflects reflects the reality of operating at the center of global entertainment and politics. The challenge lies in distinguishing association from implication, something often blurred in viral discussions.
Talk about Oprah. Now, Oprah is limited in the context of the files, but there is clear collusion between Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein. What do you mean? Well, Sarah Ferguson, yes, the Duchess of York, she is involved with Epstein, and she is involved with Oprah. Let's talk about this specifically. Sarah sent Epstein an email saying, I want to make sure you're aware I'm going on Oprah tomorrow, and she is going to ask me about my debts, the entrapment of last year, and the press about you in January. It'll be quick and at the top of the show, all of 10 seconds, a very small piece. However, I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of this and seek your advice on how you want me to answer. It will be a tiny piece. This is straight up collusion. This is Oprah passing through a message to Epstein. And you know what? Jeffrey responded to Sarah with the answer that he was supposed to give. Jeffrey was unfairly characterized as a pedophile by the tabloid press. Many years ago, Jeffrey pleaded guilty to soliciting underage prostitutes. He paid his debt to society and has sought forgiveness. I have nothing more to say. This was in 2011. This is clear collusion between Oprah, Sarah, and Jeffrey.
Meanwhile, the Epstein files themselves continue to generate headlines. Each document release reignites debates about elites, accountability, and unanswered questions. Names from politics, royalty, and technology have resurfaced repeatedly. Some connections were previously known, others newly scrutinized. And every release seems to deepen public curiosity rather than close the case.
Publicly supported victims of sexual assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein, singer Seal Instagram this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, when you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution.
Please welcome Seal!
The 54-year-old who's appeared on Oprah's show captioned his post, "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses, my bad." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get woke.
Fans have come to her defense, pointing out Winfrey is a sexual assault survivor. They also posted pics of Seal's ex, Heidi Klum, kissing Weinstein too.
One widely discussed example involves Bill Gates. Gates and Epstein met multiple times after Epstein's conviction, something Gates later described as a mistaken judgment. Gates has denied any wrongdoing, stating he never engaged in Epstein's criminal activities. Still, the association triggered intense public criticism and reportedly contributed to personal fallout, including tensions within his marriage. The broader lesson? In the Epstein story, even proximity became radioactive.
Just seen this interview with Bill Gates on Channel 9.
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
There we go. I never met any women. Wow, this is getting curiouser and curiouser, Esther.
Yes, it is. And unfortunately for Bill Gates, now he has to probably deal with the insinuation, at least for many people, that Melinda chose to divorce him and get herself out of that world. Also because of his association or his tenuous links, which he denies, with Jeffrey Epstein. The allegation that he presumably got an STD from a Russian prostitute that was associated with Jeffrey Epstein was actually written in a note by Jeffrey Epstein to himself.
So how did Epstein maintain access to so many powerful circles for so long? He wasn't a head of state. He wasn't a royal. Yet he moved freely among billionaires, celebrities, and political leaders. This has led many observers to question whether institutional failures, social privilege, or systemic blind spots allowed him to operate unchecked. Because Epstein didn't just appear in elite spaces. He was welcomed.
There's a lot of those 100%. Guys that wound up going to that island. They probably thought, this is great. We get to party.
Nothing's free.
And they probably felt like they were rock stars because they get to hang out with the intellectual elite on an island with a guy who's just a billionaire philanthropist who's eccentric, who just loves women. He's a professed bachelor, and it all seemed too good to be true.
It's so true.
Because it was.
Yeah.
So I think he was an asset, whether or not it was for the Mossad strictly or Israel strictly or the United States strictly, whether it was a CIA thing, whatever, I don't know. But I think it was probably a part of a blackmail compromise effort.
Yeah.
Because those guys, there's a fucking dirty secret about these people that are in Congress, and they party, okay? They're regular guys and regular women, and they're in their 30s or 40s or whatever they are, and every now and then they do coke, and they get drunk, and they...
Human beings.
Remember that D.C. madam that had a whole book of people, and then she wound up committing suicide? She said, I'm not suicidal, and then...
See ya.
Yeah. Because there's probably a lot like that. And
yeah.
those kind of honeypot operations, they let these freaks know, like, hey, you're going to be safe with me. Charlie will take care of everything. Look, Bill Clinton used to come here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the
and
island.
that's a big endorsement. It's like presidents were here, so it must be a secure area.
Exactly.
I can get
we
down.
are on the island with Bill.
Yeah.
This is fine.
And
We're
all these
fine.
girls show up, and you're like, well, this is Christmas in July.
Bill is really interested in string theory. He'd like to talk to you about string theory. So you're sitting down there having cocktails while Bill Clinton's getting a massage from some girl who's rubbing her tits against the back of his head while she's massaging you.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's really interesting. Hey, I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna take a nap.
Another thing about black holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they all thought that it was this lovely exchange of powerful people and brilliant people. And then they were just getting dirt on all of them. Guys cheating on their wives, guys, whether knowingly or unknowingly, having sex with underage girls.
Everybody
And
wants to be.
Maybe some guys, that was their thing.
Sure.
Because it seemed like with Epstein, that was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't think there's any evidence to either. I think it's all been. I don't think there was collected with that plea deal, and I don't think there's any list that's going to point to. There's no smoking gun. That's
I
all
don't know
been-
about that.
I think it's all been taken care of. I think that it's. I think you could open up every file.
But that's the truth. Why did they have all those files? Why did they parade around with these binders?
Because
and
a
say,
lot of-
do you remember those
Yeah.
photo ops that they said? Like, look, they did like a thing. We have the Epstein files right here,
Right.
and they had binders. Like, what kind of political theater is that? If you don't really have the Epstein
It
files,
was
like,
probably
what is
theater. And what I mean by that is I think like if they are keeping something quiet, it's because it's video of underage girls or it's video of the victims who don't want that to be out there. And the Justice Department cannot make that public. They cannot bring that to Congress. That's all sealed for their privacy, right?
Well, that is the argument. But then they're saying now that there are no files. They're saying there's no video.
I believe that. Don't you?
Boy, I don't know. I think they have video. I think if you've got an island and you want compromise on people, you can't just have hearsay.
I would say I would agree.
I watched him fuck that girl. Let's sue him. No, that's not how it works. You have to have video, and then you have to show it to the guy. Like, Mr. Clinton, have a seat.
Yeah.
Epstein's death only intensified speculation. Official investigations ruled it a self-inflicted death. But malfunctioning cameras, procedural errors, and unusual circumstances sparked endless debate. While theories continue to circulate, no conclusive public evidence has overturned the official findings. Still, for many people, the unanswered questions remain unsettling.
The Epstein releases, like, before we got started, like... First of all,
the
like
photo dump and the emails, it's fucking nuts.
But it's also they're doing it so slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys have had this stuff for a year. Like
we were promised multiple times, it's coming, it's coming.
Doesn't it seem like you could just throw all that into AI at this stage of the game?
Yes.
And just redact the names of the victims and let's go?
Yeah, of course.
It seems like that would take 5 minutes.
I mean, it feels like, you can't help but feel like the administration is just like watching their back, and that's why it's happening.
Watching someone's back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all speculative why they haven't released it, but it's not good. It's not good for everybody's confidence.
No.
It's not good that this thing was going on, that they had this bizarre blackmail operation running. That's very weird.
Very strange.
Very weird. But it kind of makes sense. Because if you're a 60-year-old billionaire and you're a freak and you like to get your freak on, but unfortunately you're a gigantic software developer and everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get your freak on.
Well, that's the thing is like it makes sense when you go like, oh, some of these dudes really liked visiting that place.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only place they can go.
Right.
You can't go anywhere else.
Right, and that's why they set it up for them.
Yeah.
Eric Weinstein said that to me once. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
If you're the former president of the United States, you can't go to a nightclub.
Yeah, he said, I think there are people out there that provide experiences for certain people that have a hunger for them.
Yeah.
I was like, of course. And that's also how they compromise people too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's how they get you to vote the way they want you to vote and play ball. Bobby, we got video, you sucking a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? Yeah. Because, I bet all those people have something on them. That's how they stay in the game.
They have to.
It's like skull and bones. You got to suck the dick.
Well, look at
otherwise we can't trust you.
For the Epstein shit, look at the level of people that we're visiting. I mean, it's all at the highest level of influence, power, and fame.
Yeah.
And so you go, yeah, this dude wants to do some wild shit. He can't go to Cheetahs and get it done. You know?
Yeah.
You can't do it. He's got to go somewhere. Yeah. What sounds good? A private island.
Yeah. He can't just order up a call girl.
It's too risky.
Where are you going? I'm going to Captain Billionaire's house to go suck his dick. I do it every Tuesday. Plus, I'm on meth. And I'm really good at keeping secrets.
Yeah. These guys.
And a top Justice Department official says the review of the Jeffrey Epstein files is over. The same official indicated there would be no new charges. Now the Trump administration is facing backlash from Epstein survivors and Democrats. This was California Congressman Ro Khanna yesterday.
There is a demand for elite accountability, but the survivors' lawyers that I've talked to have said that the survivors are still upset. They're upset that many of their names accidentally came out without redactions, and they want to make sure the rest of the files come out.
CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us from our Washington bureau with more on this. Scott, you've been sifting through as much of this as you can. What's in this so-called final batch?
It's a process. We're still working through millions of pages here, Errol. And it's worth noting these were released more than 40 days after the legal deadline for the Department of Justice to do so. No one besides Epstein and former associate Ghislaine Maxwell has been charged, but the Department of Justice insisting its work is done has only fueled more controversy.
We're told to trust the documents, trust the conclusions, trust that justice moved forward. Yet the Epstein case continues to feel incomplete to many observers. Too many names, too many sealed records, too many lingering questions. Was Epstein acting alone, or was he part of something larger? Share your thoughts below, and like the video if you want us to keep breaking down every new development as it unfolds.